The Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association presents Matinee Madness. Matinee Madness is presented by the Ohio State University Veterinary Medical Center, Eldorado Scioto Downs, and Wire to Wire Wealth. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Bucyrus, Ohio and the Crawford County Fairgrounds as we get set for our final Matinee Madness of 2024. I'm Frank Froz, joined by Susan Schroeder. And Susan, the weather, we've had nice weather through the first four. This is the one that should have been the first one, the cold and damp one, instead of the nice sunny one.
Yeah, but the rain has stopped, and we just had drizzle, so the track looks like it's really good shape.
We're scheduled for 11 races today. Unfortunately, Rosie Weaver scratched her horses, so that forced some shuffling around. So the first race is not going to take place. They're going to move this horse, number 2, from that race to the 5th race, and we will be starting it with race 2 if you have a program for today's matinee. And we'll be back with that first race right after this.
Racing is back at Eldorado Scioto Downs. Catch the excitement all summer long. Live racing every Tuesday through Saturday nights. First race post time is 5:45. Mark your calendar to see the future stars with a $150,000 Next Generation July 6th. Thrilling harness racing at Eldorado Scioto Downs. One track, 90 racing days, 100% action. Horse players can earn points with the new Caesars Reward program. Eldorado Scioto Downs. Racing returns May 9th.
At Ohio State's Galbraith Equine Center, our veterinary champions are here for your champions 24/7, 365 days a year. Our expert team of boarded surgeons, sports medicine and rehabilitation specialists, together with veterinary cardiologists, internal medicine, and ophthalmologists, make our hospital your best resource for all sport horse performance issues. The Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center's Galbraith Equine Hospital. Call us today at 614-292-6661. Welcome back to the Crawford County Fairgrounds in Bucyrus as we get set for Matinee Madness. The Chris Short Barn has 2 horses in, and today Susan was able to catch up with Stephanie Reese to talk about their horses, which is something a little different for them. They're used to race horses and not racing babies. So let's join Susan for that interview on the backside.
Here we are back in the barn area with Stephanie Reese from the Chris Short stable. And you've got one in the second, a 3-year-old today, and then you've got this 2-year-old. So tell us a little bit about these horses.
This is our only 2-year-old in the barn, Taylor's Dance. First start, first time away from home, not someplace we ever thought we would be today, for sure, with a 2-year-old out of Chris Short stable.
Yeah, I think that you said before, you're never going to go to a matinee, right?
This was not how we did things. We were always a claiming condition aged horse stable. This year we've got Tommy the 2-year-old and a couple of 3-year-olds. So this is a first time for us here. So exciting.
Yeah, and Tommy's pretty excited, I see.
Tommy is always very excited about every day. It's a new adventure for Tommy.
So explain to people why you have the hood on him.
Tommy is very enthusiastic about life. He gets very excited. It's a little compression hood. Just helps calm him down a little bit, makes him a little less anxious about being out, doing things. Seems to really help him. He's got his little chew chain that goes everywhere with him. That is another thing we do to try to keep him happy. He's a dancing Yankee, so he's a little high-strung.
But it's we talked last week with somebody they talked about the mental state of these 2-year-olds, especially. Sometimes that's just as important as what they're doing athletically.
Absolutely. If Tommy is not happy, then we're not going to get what we need out of him on the track. So we do everything we can to keep him happy. He has toys, things that he plays with in his stall, his chew chain, just anything to keep him entertained that'll keep him happy.
Yeah, I think that's a very important thing to keep these guys happy.
It's, we talk a lot about our mental health. Their mental health is just as important because they're doing a job too. So we try to do every little thing we can for each horse. Tommy is always extra special.
Well, we appreciate you taking some time to talk to us, and we appreciate Tommy being silly over here. And best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Well, Susan has joined us back up here in the grandstand, and while you were back there doing that interview, we found out the starting gate's not working today, so we're not going to have a starting gate today. We are going to have a gentlemen's start. The delay also caused us to lose another race, so we're going to start with race number 3 instead. And Susan, who do we got in this one? We got 4 coming to start.
Yep, 4 in this race. This is a 2:10 time bar. Remarkably Smart and Tyler Bates have the 1 hole. Tyler's also the trainer, and Mick Foster is the owner. This is a Racing Hill colt that they purchased for $32,000 at the Ohio Selected Sale out of Serena Stride, who's a Some Beach Somewhere. Mare herself had a mark as a 3-year-old of 151-3, made $152,000. Our Baby Shark, Alan Anderson up. Alan also trains for Lester Peters and Richard Tommel. This is an Indiana bred, a Shady Shark Hanover. This horse raced over at Urbana and finished 3rd. Coming from the 3-hole is Johnny L. and Hank Levan. Hank's also the trainer. This Pet Rock colt is owned by Levan Stables, Dharma Fall Racing, and Mega Levan. This horse is out of Pay Attention Jack, who is by Keystone Raider. Finished 3rd at the Urbana Matinee and is a half-brother to one in 53-3. Levan de Rosa L. Hank Levan is also scheduled to be up. We will see who's driving this one. Hank is the trainer, Levan Stables. This is owned by LOL, what we call Lots of Levans. This horse finished 4th at Urbana. It had a tendency to be a little lazy, and so I know that that was one thing that Hank wanted to try to get him a little bit more excited. This is a half-brother to Van Diesel, who's got a mark of 52-2, made $173,000. So let's pick up the action for race number 3.
They're at the top of the stretch and they're on their way home. Remarkably Smart, the leader. Johnny L. on the outside. Remarkably Smart. Johnny L. second. Our Baby Shark will finish 3rd.
Well, our first race is in the books here at Bucyrus, and the gentlemen's start worked out well in that race.
Absolutely, and the well-rated mile, the time bar was 2:10, and they went in 2:9-3. So Remarkably Smart was your winner. Johnny L. finished 2nd. Our Baby Shark was 3rd. Wyatt Said was 4th, and Levan de Rosa L. finished 5th after a slight break at the start. Fractions were 32, 106-3, 139-2, and 2-9-3. So very nice last quarter.
Remarkably Smart went out to the lead and was there the entire time. Johnny L. with Hank Levan kind of was parked most of the mile, and coming down the stretch kind of made a little bobble there, but was able to get back on stride as they hit the finish line. But the 2:10 time bar right at it with 2:09-3. So let's take a look at our second race of the day, and this will be a 3-horse field as we are scratched down from 4 quintuplet. One of Rosie Weaver's 4 that were supposed to be here today ended up being scratched. Rosie not making the trip down to Bucyrus. So let's take a look at the 3 that are left.
Okay, this is a 2:15 time bar trot. The 1, Peter's Fun Queen, Hank Levan is going to drive for trainers Curtis Massey. Ian Mason, Curtis Massey, and Timothy Meister are the owners. This is a filly by Uncle Peter, who's out of TK's Karma, who is by Victory Sam. The mare herself had a mark of 57-2 and made $112,000 and produced Uncle Kip, who made $90,000. Tom's Jubilee, Mike High will drive for trainer Donald High. Donald High is also the owner. This is a long Tom filly out of Talbot Creek Jubilee, who is by Muscles Yankee. Mare had a record of 154-3, made $200,000, and the mare is a half-sister to a horse called Gale Hill, who made $231,000. The 3 is a scratch, and the number 4, Teacher Kate. Matthew Brown trains and drives this Enterprise filly out of Rare Beauty, who is a credit winner. Dwayne Lowry and Michelle Brown are the owners. This is the 3rd foal out of this mare, purchased at the Buckeye Classic sale for $12,000. And the 2nd dam produced a horse called Gifted Way, who made $150K.
Let's pick up the action for our second race of the day.
They come to the top of the stretch, and the leaders, Teacher's Kate, off the turn by 5. Tom's Jewelry is 2nd. Peter's Fun Queen is 3rd. Down the stretch, it is Teacher's Queen. On the outside, Tom's Jewelry, Teacher Kate hanging for the win.
Very pedestrian for that opening half there, as they went 39-2 for the first quarter, 115-4 for the half. They were worried about that, or were showing no worry for the extra donation that they'd have to make on that 2:15 time bar.
Yeah, if you beat the time bar by a full 5 seconds, you're going to have to make a $50 donation to the Bucyrus County Horsemen's Association. So everybody's staying, so far in the first 2 races, they've been cautious of that.
2:15 time bar, that went in 2:23.
Yeah.
But, Teachers Kate, sat second, and, going to the 3/4, asked for it, and all of a sudden took off, and just, you saw some great potential there in that horse with some speed heading up the backstretch.
Absolutely, made a big move up the backside. So Teacher Kate was your winner, Tom's Julie was second, and Peter's Fun Queen finished third.
So that's 2 of our races in the books. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll have our 3rd race of the day when we return to the Crawford County Fairgrounds in Bucyrus.
With more than 300,000 horses in Ohio, the economic impact of the equine industry in the state is over $2.8 billion. Much of that value comes from standardbred horse owners, breeders, trainers, and drivers who participate in the sport of harness racing. The mission of the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association is to preserve, protect, promote, and serve the entire standardbred industry in Ohio and beyond. To learn more about the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association, go to ohha.com. That's ohha.com.
With over 30 years of experience in wealth planning and a lifetime of involvement in harness racing, Matt Franklin at Wire to Wire Wealth can help you build a financial plan that addresses the unique circumstances of those involved in the horse racing industry. Whether you are investing to build wealth, protect your family, or preserve your assets, Matt at Wire to Wire Wealth will work with you through the wealth planning process from start to finish.
Welcome back. Earlier today, Frank had a chance to talk to Ty Bates back in the barn area.
Thanks, Susan. Joined now by Ty Bates. Ty, you got 6 in today. What do you hope to accomplish at these matinees with your young ones?
A little gate schooling. This is my last training trip before the fairs, so we want to tighten them up a little bit.
Now, out of the 6, any of them standing out above the rest of them?
Yeah, I think the 2 that I got in the same race, JB Magic and Ma Honey, are kind of standing out. I think Eisenman, he's coming around a little bit.
What makes those 2 special at this point in their training?
Oh, they seem like they can go on. They like to go on the end of it, and they grab on, and you never know until you beat somebody anymore. So.
Now, having 2 in the same race, are they used to training together? Do you train them together when you've got them? So are you expecting, them to go after each other, basically?
Yeah, they train together, and, in a 2.5 mile, hopefully go to half and 5, and then go home all we can go. So.
Now, you talked about getting ready for the fairs. What's the fair schedule looking like you this year?
No, we'll start them all out at the fair and see what happens, and then hopefully some of them are good enough to go up.
Do you have them staked to Buckeye Stallions and Sire Stakes?
A couple of them to the both, and then most of them just to the Stallion Series. They're cheaper colts. So.
Good luck today.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks, Frank. Let's talk about this race. It is our 3rd race of the day, but it is race number 5 in our program. This is a 2:10 time bar pace. Blazing Elvin and Brad Schaefer have the rail. Brad is also the trainer and the owner. This is a 3-year-old by Yankee Cruiser out of Amazing Susie, who's by Threefold. This horse had 1 start as a 2-year-old in Upper Sandusky and finished 4th at Urbana in that matinee. And that mile went in 2.5, so that horse raced pretty good over at Urbana. Murphy and Tyler Bates have the 2-hole. Tyler's also the trainer. Co-owners are Sean McGee and Suzanne Bates. This is a What the Hill colt out of Foxy Blue, who is a credit winner, the 5th foal of this unraced mare. Live Lively and Mike High have the 3 spot. Donald High is the trainer and the owner. This is another 3-year-old filly by Pet Rock out of the Lady Vanishes, who is by Art Official. Source had 5 starts as a 2-year-old, did not hit the board, had some braking problems, so that's probably why this horse is here today. See what it can do. And Chicky L and Hank Levan have the 4-hole. This is a 2-year-old filly by Western Vintage out of Miss Betty's Hope, who is a Better's Delight. That mare, Miss Betty's Hope, had a mark of 53 and 3, and is a half-sister to Bush Delight, who also had a mark of 53 and 3. Levan Stables, Megan Levan, and Jacob Wildermuth are the owners of this very reasonably priced horse. They only paid $2,500 for this Chickie L at the Buckeye Classic sale, and Chickie O finished second at Urbana in 2.9. And the number 5 is Callie L. Hank Levan to drive, and Hank also trains. Levan Stables, Megan Levan, and Max and Edward Perry are the owners. This is a What the Hill out of Sandy's Song, who is by Claudius Augustus. This horse was purchased at the Lexington selected sale for $15,000 and is a half-sister to May I Explain 156. So let's pick up the action in this 2:10 time bar pace.
Down the stretch, a pace. It is Murphy, the 2-year-old brown-gutted son of What the Hell. Murphy trying to fend him off. Live Lively over Blazing Elvin and Murphy.
If we had a photo finish, we would have needed it for that race, but with all the fans we have here today, there was the discussion of who came home first, and it was the number 3, Live Lively, and finishing second, Blazing Elvin, and third, it was Murphy. The 2 Levan horses were back in the pack after the miscues.
Very nice start for a gentleman's start, and a very nice finish with 3 of them right there. Like you said, we could hardly tell them apart. And luckily, we have all these fans in the stands that are helping.
That stuck around through the earlier delay that we had.
Quarter was in 33 and 3, half in 109, 141 and 4, mile in 212. Again, not beating that 2:10 time bar.
Coming up next, we'll have what would be the 6th race in the program, our 4th race today. And this will be a double with trotters and pacers. And earlier today, Susan had the chance to talk with Randy Rank, who's got a horse in this race that can't decide if it's a trotter or if it's a pacer.
Well, we're back in the barn area here at Bucyrus with Miss Big Gal and owner-trainer Randy Rank. We see that you're in the 6th race, which is a double-gated race, and she's got a little story about being double-gated.
Yeah, she's out of a pacing bred mare, and of Mr. Anson, trotter, and they said that the Towner's big guy mare she's out of never wanted to pace at all, and I don't think she was ever trained on the trot, but the person that got a hold of her then decided she trotted so nice they decided to breed her to trotter, so that's why they bred her to Mr. Anson.
And this is the first foal out of that mare, so you got the first one to try out.
Yes, yeah, she's the first foal, and they was hoping. The owner told me he was expecting big things out of her, but we'll see what happens. Right now she's training down good, and she's been all trot, so.
You said she's awfully friendly, and we can certainly see that. My gosh, she wants to kind of be in your pocket.
She loves attention. She loves attention, and she just loves being on the track. She's got a little game to her. She wants to, race the other horses, and she's a pretty nice filly just to be around all the way around. She's just a nice filly.
Makes it kind of nice to come in the barn and see her in the morning.
Yeah. She doesn't give me too many problems, and she just, there's nothing, she's nothing mean about her or anything. She don't kick or doesn't bite, and she just loves to be around people, and she seems to love to do what she's doing.
Well, that's half the battle right there, isn't it? Isn't it? So
it sure is. When you got one that's got the will to do it, and that goes a long ways. Yeah.
I think she wants to say something too here, don't you? Well, we'll be watching for Miss Big Gal, who's out of a pacing bred mare, but going to race on the trot today.
It'll be interesting, Susan, to see how Miss Big Gal does in this race. Interesting story that Randy had for us there.
Absolutely, and she sure gets the prize for the friendliest horse of the day.
I want to know, between the interview we had earlier with Stephanie Reese's horse and then this horse here, you must have had carrots or something stuck behind your ears because they were nibbling at you.
Yes, they were. It's nice to see colts like that, young horses like that, who are just so friendly and nice. So let's take a look at the horses. This is a 2:15 time bar, and as we said, this is a double-gated race. The one, Amazing Tom. I don't have a driver. Did you get? No, we don't have a driver yet for this one. Dan Krebahany is the owner and trainer, and he owns this horse along with Mary Krebahany. This is a Long Tom colt out of Playful Credit, who is by Credit Minner. Purchased at the Buckeye Classic sale for $9,500. The mare was a half-sister to a horse called Spoiler Alert, mark of 54, and Rattling Pine, a mark of 55. This horse raced at Urbana Matinee and finished second. The three, Taylor's Dance, Phil Carter to drive, Chris Short trains, and Frederick Reed IV is the owner of this Dancing Yankee colt. Taylor's Artist is the mare, and she is by Real Artist. The mare, Taylor's Artist, had a mark of 52 and 3. And then Miss Big Gal, Norman Robbins is going to drive for trainer-owner Randy Rank. This is the filly by Mr. Anson out of a Towner's Big Guy mare, which is where the pacing part comes in, called Here Comes Big Gal. Mare is a half-sister to one that had a mark on the pace of 52, and this is the first foal from Here Comes Big Gal.
These are the two. Taylor's Dance was the one in the interview we had earlier in the show, and Miss Big Gal is Randy Rank's horse. So these are the two that were kind of your playful things back
my
there.
pets,
So
I think.
exactly. Let's pick up the action of this race.
As they come to the top of the stretch, it's Taylor's Dance leading away. Miss Big Gal, Amazing Tom is third. Less than a 16th to come. Coming to the line, it's Taylor's Dance. Taylor's Dance is almost there. Taylor's Dance up for second. Miss Big Gal.
The pacer in the race, Taylor's Dance, came home first, but you were impressed by the two little trotters after making early breaks.
They did. They came right back to it and got right up close. So those two little baby trotters did really well in this race. Miss Big Gal finished second, and Amazing Tom was third.
Taylor's Dance, better known as Tommy in the barn because it was bred by Tommy Householder and Andrea Householder, finishes the race in 2:17 and 2. The time bar was 2:15. The other fraction, Susan?
35 and 4, 111 and 3, 145 and 2 at mile 217 and 2.
So that race is in the books. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll have two more for you from the Crawford County Fairgrounds here in Bucyrus. At Ohio State's Galbraith Equine Center, our veterinary champions are here for your champions 24/7, 365 days a year. Our expert team of boarded surgeons, sports medicine and rehabilitation specialists, together with veterinary cardiologists, internal medicine, and ophthalmologists, make our hospital your best resource for all sport horse performance issues. The Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center's Galbraith Equine Hospital. Call us today at 614-292-6661.
History, tradition. For over 100 years, 2- and 3-year-old trotters and pacers have started their careers on the tracks of the Home Talent Colt Stakes. See the future stars of Ohio harness racing at one of the Home Talent's 15 tracks. The stars of tomorrow are racing at a track near you today. The Home Talent Colt Stakes. You can't win them if you aren't in them.
Welcome back to the Crawford County Fairgrounds in Bucyrus as we get set for our fifth race today for our matinee, and this will be a 2:05 time bar for the pace. We have 4 going to the gate. The number 1 is Isa Man. Tyler Bates drives and trains.
This is a colt by Rockin' Amadeus out of the mare Tricky Trendy, who is by Pine Valley. The mare is a half-sister to 3 $100,000 plus winners. This is the second foal from this mare, purchased at the Buckeye Classic sale for $8,000. Suzanne Bates and Cedar Point Beach Racing are the owners.
The number 2 is Winding Up. Dan Conkright is in the bike. He also trains. This is a lather-up gelding.
It's the first foal out of Enchanted Path, who is by Captain Treacherous. The mare is a half-sister to Notorious Pink, who had a mark of 49 and 1. 1. This horse finished third at the Urbana Matinee, made a break during that mile.
The number 3 is Andre L. Hank Levan drives and trains. This also is a lather up, but this one is also a gelding.
Yep, out of Movida Bella, who is a Sun Beach somewhere, which this mare had a mark of 53, made $133,000. And Andre L. won at Urbana at the Matinee in 2:12 and 2.
And the number 4 is Suddenly Special. Kevin Wolf drives and trains this Western vintage.
It's out of Love Power, who is by Jate Lobel, and that makes this horse a half-brother to Don't Hurry Love, who had a mark of 55. This horse also raced at the Urbana Matinee and finished second in a mile in 2:11 and 2.
Let's pick up the action for this pace.
They're off the turn, they're on their way home, and winding up is trying to take them all the way is a man on the outside. It's winding up is a man, Andre L. coming to the line. Winding up, Andre L.
Winding Up and Dan Concrete winners of this race. Came a really good last half. Fractions were 32, 104, 133 and 4, and 2-3. So last half in 59, last quarter in 29 and 1. Finishing second, a hard charging second, was Andre L. Third was Isaman, and fourth, Suddenly Special. Earlier today, Frank caught up with Hank Levan on the backside to talk about the progression of his colts.
Here with Hank Levan, who's got 11 this week at the Bucyrus Matinee. Hank, last week you had a big week. You're back again. What do you hope to see from week 1 to week 2 with your babies?
Nobody really made many mistakes last week, so hopefully they go a little faster than what they did here last week, and they continue to behave. But I'd just like to get them away from home. Like I talked about last week, you can't really see much from our track, and repetition, I think, is not going to hurt any of them.
We talk about, you bring them to a different track, they see different things, a different grandstand. How important is that to the development of a young horse?
For us, it's important because, we go to a lot of fairs, and, they need to get used to hauling on a trailer and maybe racing off of a trailer even. But, anything, that you can do, I guess, to help better prepare them, I think is really important. And, like Urbana, for instance, has got a lot of telephone poles on the inside of the track, and there's a lot of shadows. Here, it's really big and wide, and, so it's all different.
Last week, beautiful sunny day. Today, cloudy, a little misty. Does that affect the horses at all?
It maybe probably affects us more than it does them. Nobody likes to get dirty, and like I told you earlier, I got wet feet, so we're not starting out good. But no, I'm sure it'll be fine. The track here, it takes a lot of water. So
good luck today, and have some fun out there.
Thank you.
The 6th race coming up today is a 2:20 time bar trot. Madam L and Hank Levan will leave from the rail. Hank is, of course, the trainer. This is a filly by Marseille out of Leaping Lady, who is by Donato Hanover. Levan Stables, M. Levan, L. Levan, and R. Levan. So LOL again, lots of Levans own this filly. This filly is a half-sister to Leaping Legend, who made $96,000. Johnny K will have the services of Matt Brown. Deborah DeWolf is the trainer and the owner. This is a creatine 3-year-old out of Awesome Andrea, who is by Awesome Victory. The mare made $125,000, and this colt is a half-brother to Awesome Paul, 157, and Awesome Sarah, a mark of 56 and 2. The 3 Tom's Legacy will be driven by Matt Brown. Dan Krebaheny is the trainer and also co-owns this horse along with Mary and Colden Wally and Sean Zieg. This is a long Tom colt out of Almond Joy, who is by Joy Levesque. Mare herself made $123,000, making this colt a half-brother to Spee Club, $273K, As Ya All Like It, $315,000, and Candy Lane, $140,000. LT Madonna will be driven by Dale Edwards. Curtis Massey is the trainer, owned by Massey, Mason, Jury, and Mays. This is a long Tom filly out of Holy Mary, who is by Credit Winner. Makes this filly a half-sister to Priestman, made $103,000. And what's interesting is Holy Mary, her foals have been named Priestman, Father Baker, LT Madonna, and St. Tom, so definitely a theme to the names. The 5-horse is a scratch, so we're going to go with 4 horses in this race. Let's pick up the action for the 6th race from the Bucyrus Matinee.
They're at the top of the stretch. LT Madonna trying to fend off Madam L. Madam L keeps on coming. Madam L on the outside. LT Madonna will get there in time.
LT Madonna's went out, got that big early lead, and was able to hang on and hold off a hard-charging Madam L at the end.
Yeah, Madam L finishing second. Tom's Legacy was third, and Johnny K made a couple of breaks, but in between those breaks was trotting really well. Looked really strong, wanted to go. So I think that there's certainly some horse there to work with. Quarter in 35 and 4. 111 and 4, 148 mile in 220 and 2. Again, they're not going to have to pay that $50.
That extra money. David Stantz is waiting to see if he can get his hand out to a few of these people to get those donations to the Crawford County Fair and the Horsemen's Association here. So that wraps up our 6th. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll be back with our 7th race of the day.
Racing is back at El Dorado Scioto Downs. Catch the excitement all summer long. Live racing every Tuesday through Saturday nights. First race post time is 5:45. Mark your calendar to see the future stars with a $150,000 Next Generation July 6th. Thrilling harness racing at El Dorado Scioto Downs. One track, 90 racing days, 100% action. Horse players can earn points with the new Caesars Reward Program. El Dorado Scioto Downs. Racing returns May 9th.
With over 30 years of experience in wealth planning and a lifetime of involvement in harness racing, Matt Franklin at Wire to Wire Wealth can help you build a financial plan that addresses the unique circumstances of those involved in the horse racing industry. Whether you are investing to build wealth, protect your family, or preserve your assets, Matt at Wire to Wire Wealth will work with you through the wealth planning process from start to finish.
Welcome back to the Crawford County Fairgrounds and the Bucyrus Matinee, the last of our 5 Matinee Madness presentations. And this will be the 7th race on the day here. And this will be a pace, a 2:05 time bar. 3 to go to the gate. The number 1 is JB Magic.
Trainer Tyler Bates will drive. This is a Fear the Dragon colt. He paid $12,000 for it, the Blooded Horse sale. It's out of the mare Type A Gray, so this makes this horse a half-brother to Type A Personality, who made over $100,000.
The number 2 is Ma Honey, a well-said filly, trained by Tyler Bates. Dale Edwards will be in the bike.
As you said, this is a well-said out of Mary Celeste, who is by Your Nemesis. The mare herself had a 2-year-old mark of 154 and 154 flat, and she's a half-sister to Call Me Yours, 151 and 4, and Classic Call, 152 and 2.
The number 3 is another one out of the Hank Levan barn, and this is Legendary L.
It's a bit of a legend filly out of Albreezy, Hanover, who she had a mark as a 3-year-old of 153 and 4, and she is by Western Ideal. This horse was second at the Urbana Matinee in 2.6.
Let's pick up the action of our 7th race today.
Ma Honey and JB Magic match strides. Legendary L is 3 wide. They're off the turn. They're on their way home. It is Ma Honey. JB Magic coming after that leader. Legendary L on the far outside. Legendary L will not reach.
That may have been our best and most competitive race that we have seen today, as all 3 of them were across the line when they got there, but it was number 1, JB Magic, getting up for the win. Legendary L charging at the end, did not have enough track, finished second, and Ma Honey was third.
Quarter was in 31 and 1, half in 103 and 1, 3/4 133 and 4, mile in 2-3 and 2. A little bit under the time bar, but a really nice last half, 1 minute and a 1/5, and 29.3 last quarter.
So let's take a look now at our 8th race of the day. This one was originally with 5 to start, and we have been scratched down to 4. We're scratching the number 1, Silverton. The number 2 horse is Annie L out of the Hank Levan stable.
It's a 2-year-old filly by Long Time out of Pandora AS, excuse me. This makes this horse a half sister to Timond AS, 152 and 2, 394,000. Justice AS, who made 170,000. Annie L won over at the Urbana Matinee, but it was kind of after a default because a couple of the others made a break. But she did win that race in 2, 7, and 3.
The number 3 is Poor Pop Wyatt. Alan Anderson drives and trains, and this is a horse who saw action last year with 9 starts, did not hit the board in any of them, but we're still waiting to make that first start at a track in 2024.
Yes, hasn't started since Lancaster in October of last year. Go Joey L and Hank Levan have the 4-hole, so we'll have a driver change for you between the 2 and the 4. This horse is a What the Hill out of Outrageous Fortune by Andover Hall. Levan's, Darmafal, and Dream Racing are the owners. This horse finished 3rd at Urbana at 1 mile and 2-1. That was the fastest mile of the day out there at Urbana, and finished 3rd. This makes this a half-brother to Midwin Success, who made 128,000.
And the number 5 is Count Star. Norman Robbins drives and trains. This is a 3-year-old gelding by Full Count.
He's had 3 starts this year, and lots of qualifiers. Been having a little bit trouble making breaks.
So that'll be something we'll keep an eye on. Let's pick up the action of our 8th race today.
Down the stretch they trot. It is Annie L on the outside. Count Star. Annie L on the outside. Annie L will get there in the nick of time.
As Susan said, when that race ended, you won't see a better race from 3 trotters.
Yeah, pretty race with those trotters. They all stayed at it. They came at the end. It was just really a nice race.
And it was Annie L getting up at the wire, nipping Count Star for the win.
Finishing 3rd, Poor Pop Wyatt, and 4th, Go Joey L. Fractions 31 and 4, 103 and 3, 135 and 4, and 2, 6 and 1. And David Stats just has one more race to try and get that donation.
Exactly. So far,
Crawford
nothing.
County.
So we're going to take a break, and when we return, it'll be the finale race of Matinee Madness for 2024 right after this.
With more than 300,000 horses in Ohio, the economic impact of the equine industry in the state is over $2.8 billion. Much of that value comes from standardbred horse owners, breeders, trainers, and drivers who participate in the sport of harness racing. The mission of the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association is to preserve, protect, promote, and serve the entire standardbred industry in Ohio and beyond. To learn more about the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association, go to ohha.com. That's ohha.com.
At Ohio State's Galbraith Equine Center, our veterinary champions are here for your champions 24/7, 365 days a year. Our expert team of boarded surgeons, sports medicine and rehabilitation specialists, together with veterinary cardiologists, internal medicine, and ophthalmologists, make our hospital your best resource for all sport horse performance issues. The Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center's Galbraith Equine Hospital. Call us today at 614-292-6661. As we are set now for the finale of our Matinee Madness, the 9th race here at Bucyrus, 4-horse field. We'll be taking the gentleman's start today, which we've had all day. The number 1 is our Honor Defend. Tyler Bates drives and trains.
This is a filly by Lost in Time out of Dancing on My Own, who is a Some Beach Somewhere. The mare is a half-sister to Beach Boutique, who has a mark of 53 and 1. This is the 2nd foal out of this mare. Suzanne Bates and Cedar Point Beach Racing bought this filly, out of the Buckeye Classic sale for $8,000.
The number 2 is Allison L. Louis Levan drives.
This is a lather up filly out of a Badlands Hanover mare, Bad Feeling. Levans own this filly.
LOL.
LOL. Mare has a mark of 51 and 3, made 142,000. There's a half sister to the Millionaire Feeling You, 148 and 4. So some really good lines back there in the 2nd dam. They bought this filly at the Buckeye Classic sale for $10,000.
The number 3 is another horse out of the Levan stable, Evil L, a $8,000 purchase at the Buckeye Classic sale.
A Fear the Dragon filly out of Carmel Animal Kissed, who's by Bettor's Delight, making her a half-sister to Mastery, 170,000 on 151 and 2, owned by Levan Stables, Megan Levan, and Richard Fries.
And the number 4 is Pretty Girl Dragon. Norman Robbins drives for trainer Randy Rank. This horse made 14 starts last year with 2 wins.
Yes, a Fear the Dragon out of the well-said mare Pretty Girl Hanover. And the second dam of this in this family produced winners of over $2.2 million.
So there's your field for our final. One thing we do want to say is we had a great crowd here today at Bucyrus. They sat through the early delays, and we're here, and they're still in the stands for this, our final race. Let's pick up the action of the final race of the day.
They're on their way home. Allison L. between horses are underneath then. Pretty Girl Dragon still there. Pretty Girl Dragon.
Well, the only horse with some race experience comes out on top in another nice race. Pretty Girl Dragon wins it in 2:04 and 3.
Yeah, very nice finish, though. Everybody was right there, and like you said, the lone 3-year-old, along with Norman Robbins, who is 77 years old, driving the winner. Finishing second was Allison L. Third was Evil L. And Our Honor Defend finished fourth. Fractions were 31 and 3, 103 and 3, 135 and 3, and 24 and 3.
Well, that'll wrap up our Matinee Madness. We'd like to thank the Crawford County Agriculture Society, the Crawford County Horsemen's Association, David Statz, for allowing us to come out and here. We want to thank our sponsors, Eldorado Scioto Downs, the Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center, and Wire to Wire Wealth, who helped make the Matinee Madness all possible. And it was a good year. I mean, last year we lost some due to rain. We didn't lose any this year.
Right, and everybody now I think is primed and ready for the fair season.
And believe it or not, we're less than a week away from our first fair, a week Monday coming up at Paulding. Amazing, isn't it? That we'll be ready to go. So for Matt Clark, Susan Schroeder, I'm Frank Frost. We hope to see you at a fair this summer. Have a great day, everybody.
With over 30 years of experience in wealth planning and a lifetime of involvement in harness racing, Matt Franklin at Wire to Wire Wealth can help you build a financial plan that addresses the unique circumstances of those involved in the horse racing industry. Whether you are investing to build wealth, protect your family, or preserve your assets, Matt at Wire to Wire Wealth will work with you through the wealth planning process from start to finish.
Racing is back at Eldorado Scioto Downs. Catch the excitement all summer long. Live racing every Tuesday through Saturday nights. First race post time is 5:45. Mark your calendar to see the future stars with a $150,000 Next Generation July 6th. Thrilling harness racing at Eldorado Scioto Downs. One track, 90 racing days, 100% action. Horse players can earn points with the new Caesars Reward Program. Eldorado Scioto Downs. Racing returns May 9th.
This has been Matinee Madness. Matinee Madness is presented by the Ohio State University Veterinary Medical Center, Eldorado Scioto Downs, and Wire to Wire Wealth. Matinee Madness is a presentation of the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association.